Hi, this is Jeff Saker from Brownstown, Michigan, and I play at Westburn Golf Course. This is Golf Smarter number 998.
All the beginning golfers have no idea where the actual swing bottom is. And once you tell them, then a light switches on. Then as a teacher, I might look at you and say, during your backswing development, here's your root issue for expanding back to a ball. Is it a wristy situation? Is it a lateral thing? Are your arms pinned too low? Where did the events start to unravel? And as coaches, we say, hey, listen, we'll paint the picture of where a club has to swing. And we use a 3D analysis thing, and you can see as plain as day. I can put your swing up to a very functional pro, and I can put your golf ball right on top of their golf ball, so I can show you your swing shape and circle to their swing shape and circle, and I can show you where their swing bottom is and where your swing bottom is. And it's really not that hard to experiment with a couple of feels to have the successful swing bottom.
Understanding the bottom of your swing is the key to better shots. With Mr. Tour Striker, Martin Chuck.
This is Golf Smarter, sharing stories, tips, and insights from great golf minds to help you lower your score and raise your golf IQ. Here's your host, Fred Green.
Welcome back to the Golf Smarter podcast, Martin.
Fred, it's been too long, my friend. Great to be back.
Last time you were on was 2018, although we did meet up at the PGA Merchandise Show in 2023, but the last full episode with you was episode 663, and you were on a bunch of times between 2012 and 2018, and then I just every time I tried to contact you, it bounced back. I didn't know what was going on.
I don't know, man. Now, well, you have my cell phone now, so now no excuses. Because
no excuses.
I love being on. Talking to you is a blast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, you're a big part of how this show became a blast. Your insights and your advice and your inventions and your conversation has always been helpful to not just me, but to a lot of golfers. I promise.
Oh, man. Bless this silly game of golf. It's just been a lifetime of fun and laughs and, I mean, some tears. Sunday, I think, for those of you, I don't know when you're going to play this, but that Masters, how about that? That was crazy Sunday. Oh, my gosh.
That was probably some of the best golf sports television I've ever watched on Sunday.
You know,
now, I was there Wednesday and Thursday. We can go on for an hour about that. But I was so glad that I came home in time to watch it on Sunday. And I watched it on the plane on the flight back from Atlanta all the way back on Saturday. So I didn't really miss much.
I'll tell you what. How about this, though? It was a tigerless Masters, and it was riveting.
Yes.
From the first tee shot till the I want to say last putt. And then the playoff hole. Like, are you kidding me or what? I think I aged 5 years watching that darn event. But I had a blast watching it. I'm super proud of Rory. I got to meet him. And he was lovely. Oh, yeah.
When was that?
I'll riff on that story. So 2018, me, Andrew Rice and I got to go do a golf school at Royal Portrush in Northern Ireland. And it was a blast. It was for the Golf Channel. So they sent Andrew and I, there was about 12 students, and this story is crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna lay this on you. So we get sent to Northern Ireland. So Andrew was like, hey, let's make a couple days of it. So we played golf with these two awesome golf pros in Ireland, play a match. We lose like on the last hole of 3-day match, Andrew and I. And they're good, and Andrew and I can get our ball around just fine. So it was a fun 3 days of golf. And then we go to Royal Portrush, and it's a wind-torn rock. Like, you can see Santa Claus if you go stand on the beach and look to the north. I mean, it's like, it's lovely though. I mean, I can't wait to go back. Lots of stories involved. So we get there, and they're getting ready for the British Open's the next summer. You know what I mean? Like, it's coming. And so they have some open stuff there, like signage and things. Then all of a sudden I hear I look up, it's a helicopter. And what's that? I say, what's that? Oh, it's Rory-McIlroy's coming in. Excuse me? Rory's coming in? Oh, cool. So this nice helicopter lands like on the driving range tee deck, and it's a blustery, cool day. Not a lot of the Portrush members are playing golf. They're up having a coffee or a beer in the men's lounge. And so there's Rory. I'm like, oh, this is super cool. What's going on? Well, it was an enter to win thing for the Golf Channel. You can enter to win, tailor-made enter to win a chance to play golf with Rory-McIlroy. I thought those were make-believe. I didn't think those were real. I thought, oh, yeah, whatever. It's
I've never won. How can it be real?
Exactly. So anyway, there's Rory, and there's these 4 people that win. Okay, crazy. So it's worldwide people. Okay, so this one lady's there, and I say to her, and I can hear her speaking English like, the way we speak it. And I say to the gal, I go, where are you from? She goes, Arizona. I said, no way, I live in Arizona. I go, I live in Phoenix. She goes, well, I live in Chandler. And I go, well, I actually live in Chandler. So now we're from the same little town in Arizona. She says to me, do you know Downtown Steakhouse in downtown Chandler? I go, yeah, I just took my wife there like 2 weeks ago. She goes, that's my business. And that's my husband. Points over to a dude that's like doing something, getting a drink. Anyway, she won this contest. And so happens she lives like a mile from me. She played golf with Rory that day. He couldn't have been a better dude. Like, he was like genuinely into meeting everybody there, super kind to me. I teased him about the smart ball. He's like, oh, I struggle with it at the top and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, everybody does. Don't worry about it. And then they go to play golf. So, and then we got to coach these students that are there. So Andrew Rice has enough sense to say to me, hey, let's go watch them play the last couple holes. So the campers are like, absolutely. So we walk out, we catch them on 17T, which is a par 4 that if you bomb a driver, like at about 300 yards, there's a slope down. It's probably 420 or 30 in recollection. Anyway, Rory bombs, driver goes in the greenside bunker. Okay, so that's not how I played the hole. I hit it to the top of the hill, had to hit 9-iron on the green. Rory hits it, flies way down there, bounces down the hill, goes in the greenside trap. He's the most underrated bunker player of all time. Hits a beautiful bunker shot, makes birdie, whatever, ho-hum. So there's the 12 campers. There's Rory and the walkers with the caddies. And then there's about a media crew, about 5 or 6 people. So it's a little bit of a mob, but that's it. Nobody else out there. It's a terrible day. Not raining, just windy. And people from Ireland are like, I'll take today off, go see a movie. So in 18T now, it's into the teeth. It's a lovely par 4. It's long, dogleg right, a little bit of a dogleg, OB left. Now, instead of the tee ball, Rory hits a bomb on 17, high bomb draw. On 18, he hits a flighted, roasted, low missile that fades a little bit, perfect. And we're standing there on the tee taking videos. And, I feel like it's me to you, like close, obviously. And then we walk the fairway, and he's kind of chumming it up with he's giving these guests like the full, lovely, asking them about their family and the whole 9 yards. I mean, it was awesome. So then Andrew Rice and I are back there, and he's got his he's actually a hell of a photographer. He's got his proper camera, and I've got my iPhone, and I'm taking like slow-mo video of Rory hitting this punchy draw, 175-yard 5-iron that like starts out to the right of the green, curls back into the middle of the green perfectly, and he's got like a 25-footer for birdie on this miserable into the wind par 4, which, I was, he obviously didn't have a good British Open. I want to say missed the cut, like he shot 80-72 or something, missed the cut, but it was a great experience. And then to meet some lady that lived literally a mile from me, that's nuts.
Yeah, on the other side of the planet.
Yes. So if you haven't been, have you ever been to like Northern Ireland to those courses like Port Stewart, Port Rush?
I have never been to the UK. Still a bucket list item for me.
They couldn't have been. There's a bar there called the Harbor Bar, and it's in Port Rush. Okay, and that's where Darren Clark's from, by the way. And so he wasn't there when we were there. He's a friend of mine. So we go to this bar. There's this amazing musician, like epic guitar playing singer guy, can sing anything, like Sweet Home Alabama to U2, whatever. Like he sings it all. In this bar, you stuff in like maybe 60 people in there to get a good Guinness, and it is more damn fun in this little silly bar. So when I went there, I said to Darren Clark, I'm like, hey, I was at that bar, blah blah blah, and he's like, what'd you think? I'm like, it was the best damn place ever. Like, it's a silly little bar on this little harbor that is teeny weeny, by the way. And they got this epic place where you can have a pint, and then there's golf pictures everywhere. Naturally, Darren Clark's a big part of that because he's from there. And then Rory-McIlroy shot 61 on that golf course when he was like 16. I think he still has the course record. Maybe wrong, but I can't. 61. Yeah, maybe if you quit after the 14th hole, but not 18 holes. No, it's a proper golf course. Like, it is a proper, Royal Port Rush. There's 2 courses there. I didn't play the other one, but the main course is like significant. I'll leave it there. But a hell of a time. Go to Ireland. Yes.
Oh, it's real high on my list. I was trying to beg my son to go, come on, man, I'm turning 70. Can we just take a trip together, and you and a couple of your cousins that are your age, and we're all golfers, and let's go. And they're like, yeah, no, Dad, I'm busy.
Oh, so fun.
Yeah, I know. We'll play in your local neighborhood. That's fine too.
But anyway, he won his Masters. He got his Grand Slam. I'm happy for him. Great dude.
And I gotta say, the thing about it that really was amazing for Rory is he was really vulnerable after winning that. And just, because golfers can have a stuffy image or a protected image with the press.
Right. Yeah.
And he was just so authentic. It made it that much easier to root for him.
You know what I tell my students all the time? So my campers, every week, I'm so lucky. Like I teach these awesome people. And I joke, my campers are between like 40 and 90. Okay. And so I say to them, I am incapable of being embarrassed. Incapable. It's impossible to embarrass me. You know why? Golf. Because I played in the Canadian Masters when we were playing at Huron, something Huron Oaks, Huron something in Southern Ontario. Where's won the Canadian Masters there? Mike Weir, old good buddy of mine. And so I'm playing with the South African guy who's really good, a guy named Roger Wessels. And so, I'm a local kid, and so people are interested in me, and I put it's like a layup par 4. I'm going to say 3-wood wedge, 3-wood 9-iron. Anyway, there's as big a crowd as there maybe could be around that tee box, I think, because it's like I'm teeing up with this guy. He's behind me with like Brant Jobe. Okay, so it's like I'm like, why am I in this little package of? But it was a pretty epic tee time for me. So I'm nervous. I step up and I'm like ready to go. Like I'm feeling good about my game, and I topped it. I topped a 3-wood. Not like right in front of me, but I heeled it. It got past the ladies' tee, got hung up in the wet rough, and I might have hit it 65 yards. Okay. And I was up first, from Toronto, Ontario. Put your hands together for Martin Schock. Hey. Go through my little tiny practice swing, walk in a routine, a couple waggles, take a look, whack, off the heel, like through boned it along the ground. There's dew flying. I'm like, and then my heart's like, ba-bump, 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 ba-bump. It's in my throat, man. Roger Wessels is a really good player from South Africa. Sizzles a perfect 3-wood down there. And he's thinking, oh my gosh. So and then I go down, find my ball. It's fine. I whack it down there by his. And we both have I don't know. I hit it in there. Anyway, I made par. I schwacked 3-wood, topped it, hacked it down by his ball, hit a good iron shot. I want to say I was 15 feet or so. He hit it about where I was. I can't remember who went first. He made par. I made par. That was it. That was the end of the story. And I want to say I shot 71 or 70 or something like that. Anyway, I played okay, made the cut. But yeah, I'm incapable of being embarrassed. Seriously, incapable. Like I could go sing karaoke on a cruise ship. Yes, give me the mic. Yes, no, there's zero. Yeah, golf did that to me. So when Rory was bawling, my wife's like, "Oh, I can't believe he's crying like that." I'm like, "Honey, you have no idea, none, zero. What he's." Even as blessed as he is, and as his bank account or whatever, and his lovely parents and his wife and his child, you have no idea what he thinks about every single day that consumes his mind. And we saw it on Sunday. We saw him miss a couple putts. We saw him hit a couple bad. That one wedge shot on 13, I about fell off the couch. And yet, I'll tell you what, the most underrated shot of all of the tournament, in my opinion. Underrated shot of the tournament was the pitch he hit on number 3. So I don't know if you remember this. If you saw that, he smoked a driver way down there, short of the hill up the green. Okay, the pin's in the front left. So they show the camera angle. It's like hitting it up to the top of Mount Vesuvius with a pin sticking up there. Now, if you hit that one little teeny weeny bit soft, guess what you get to do? You get to hit it again from the same spot. And what did Rory do? Rory hit this little spinner up there, check, 8-footer. Oh, that should be easy. He's a pro just to hit it up 8 feet. What they do? Well, and then Bryson DeChambeau, of course, lays up, hits it 20 feet, 3 putts. And then Rory happens to jiggle it in, and it goes in for birdie. Then he hits the best 4-iron humanly possible, like right behind Ludwig Oberg's unbelievably, like the Greek god Zeus couldn't have hit a better 4-iron than Ludwig Oberg or Rory-McIlroy. The Greek god Zeus would have hit a towering 4-iron that would have plugged in the bunker, but not Rory and not Ludwig. They were the best darn 4-irons I've ever seen. Ludwig misses, Rory made it. Crazy.
So what was crazy is on Thursday when I was there at the Masters, I was standing in that spot, and what was his name? Patrick McNeely.
Okay. Maverick McNeely? Patrick Cantlay? Maverick McNeely? Patrick Cantlay?
McNeely. He hit one, and I talked about this in the little bonus episode I did, and all of a sudden the spotter's going, your feet, right? And he's pointing down, and a ball rolls up, hits the guy sitting next to me, hit him in the foot, and then bounced backwards. So I backed up, and I'm like, oh, great, now I get to watch. And I got to see him make this shot that you're talking about up over where it's a blind shot. You can see the top of the flag only. And nobody where I was knew what happened until we reacted to the crowd who saw it land. And he had a 15-footer that he missed, but he parred the hole. So, I know that spot. I was there. That's where,
awesome.
Okay, so here's something. I got like the coolest souvenir ever that I think I could get in trouble for. But while I was there, I just finished my water bottle. I filled it with pine straw. So I came home with a water bottle filled with pine straw. I put a couple of azaleas in there and a pine cone that I found all on the floor. They were all on the floor. But
there you go. That's so cool.
How is it that, a kid from Toronto learned playing golf, and there's a lot of golf in Toronto. I hear from a lot of listeners in Canada.
Yeah.
But you keep dropping these names. Good buddy of mine. How is it that you have so many good buddies that are high profile golfers? Just competition.
I mentioned, I think I was a decent golfer in my own right till I packed it in, because I was decent enough to play on the Canadian tour for a few years and nationwide tour. But then there's the next level. Like I'd say, like Weirzy, I thought I could run with Weirzy toe to toe, but I couldn't, because he was more tenacious than me. He had a better short game than me. Then as far as like knowing guys now, I'd say that a lot of them use my training products. And then I think a lot of them appreciate how I coach. A lot of guys will say, hey man, I like how you kind of simplify things. Don't make things too technical. And, I always joke about coaching. It's like, you want to give somebody permission to do something that they want to do. You don't want to just keep the shackles on people. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You want to say, yes, do that. Yes, that's good. And every once in a while, you got to kind of rein somebody in if they got this miserable club face situation, bad grip path, whatever. But you want them to find something they believe in. So I think a lot of the good players, they know that I've had the cup of coffee in that situation where I can respect what they go through. And I do think when you talk to a good player, you can be a great coach and you don't have to be a great player. But I do think that a lot of great players do respect the fact that you've stood there, you've felt that lump in your throat. You played at a level that they can appreciate. And I think that goes a long way. Is it necessary? No. But I think good players do appreciate that you've felt a little bit of what they feel and really, truly respect how much pressure that they're under and ways to kind of deal with that. And that's how we teach the golf camp. I mean, not that don't get me wrong, my campers are not tour players. My campers are just fun blokes, ladies and men. We've had 90-year-olds and we've had, studly young people show up. But we teach, it's fun first, Fred. That's the key, man. Fun. Life's short. Have fun. Music's on. I give people a rat. Can I swear on this episode? Can I swear? No swearing. Okay. I give them a hard time as opposed to SHIT. Yeah. And good fun though.
I only say you can't swear because I did receive an email once when I thought, okay, we can start swearing now. And I got an email immediately goes, I listened to the show with my 7-year-old in the back seat. Please don't do that.
Yeah, that's good. And I appreciate it.
Radio. It's easy enough.
Yeah, for sure. So, golf is a game, it's a game played, right? It's played on this up and down, roly-poly thing. Training tends to be played on this flat, perfect thing. Yeah. And so you bridge the gap between, what is training, what is playing. And so that in my camp, like we play with the golf school people. We go in the afternoons, play with them. And they like seeing good players hit balls. And they're like, wow, I'm the old man now because my coaches are younger than me, faster than me. And I hate to say better than me at golf, which I still am fighting the good fight. But they get to see what good players, how they walk into a golf ball, how they make a decision, the routine, man. The routine of a good golfer is huge. And I swear, like I would love if I ever meet Rory again, and I probably will sometime. I mean, here's a guy that's so talented. I would love to sit down and go, hey man, let me show you something cool about what Tiger did years ago that he may not even be aware of, because Tiger's routine was so spot on when he was like the most separated elite player, period. Like the year 2000, like he won the US Open by 15. Okay. It's not even a contest, right? Ernie Els and Miguel Angel Jimenez were second by 15 shots, different field. Crazy. So Tiger, and this is a Scott Fawcett. Have you ever had Scott Fawcett on the show? You should if you have.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Great. So Scott sends me this video. He goes, you're going to love this. He knows I'm a routine fanatic. And he goes, watch this. And I'm watching Tiger Woods look super chill, take his little practice swings, talking to Stevie Williams. And then he looks at him and and then he kind of takes a little moment. And then as soon as he takes his first step, that first step to the ball, which is a few step walk, walks in, grabs a club, aims a face, takes a look, sets his feet, blah, blah, blah. It was the same the whole year for a full shot.
Wow.
And so where God bless Rory, okay, Rory might look once, he might look twice, he might look 6 times. So
he
it's
does
interesting.
Look up a lot.
And I'm like, who am I to talk about how good Rory is? Because he's an epic talent. But I do think there are ways to say, okay, here's like you had Pia on. I was just listening to your episode, man. Love her. I love Pia and Lynn. They're the best. And so you said thought box, shot box, right? And they're think box, play box. And they've made that, like they've coined that. And that's a beautiful way to play, because I always tell my students, I go, you're going to need to think about a ton of stuff. Sorry. It's going to feel weird. Boo-hoo. Changes suck. Embrace it. Here's where you embrace the suck. Here, behind the ball. And I show them the videos of Tiger, and I say, here's where you get to take this practice swing behind the ball. And then you get to kind of organize yourself before you even get to the ball. Most of your check marks are done. So when you set the face behind the ball, you've built your funky new grip that my coaches and I have taught you how to put the club hands in properly instead of a awful grip. We've got your arms in a nice spot. So when you get to the ball, you're ready to go, man. So once you look up and waggle, and nobody knows how to waggle, I call myself, I'm the CEO of waggling. Okay. I show people how to waggle. I know you're shaking your head right now. For those listeners, Phil Green's shaking his head. Not Phil Green. I'm sorry. Yeah. But I got another buddy named Phil Green. Anyway, my point is, people don't know, Fred, how to waggle, man. They don't know how to walk into a golf ball, feel the weight of the golf club. And then that puts me in the tangent. Fred, why is golf hard? Tell me. Give me something.
Because the ball's not moving.
Ball's not moving. Okay, but give me something else. You're right. Shoot
why
from the
is
hip.
Okay, why is golf hard? Because you're hitting a different club every time too.
Perfect.
So every
What else?
club is
Come
different.
On. Yes.
You're thinking too much.
Perfect.
You're
Give me something
overthinking.
else.
Oh, I didn't know this was going to be a test.
There's a test. You passed. Now let me step in. How about this? Every 5 minutes, give or take, that's when you hit a shot. So if we tee off together, Fred, we tee off at 8. Say we both hit nice ones down the middle. Hey, Fred, nice shot. Hey, Marty, way to go. We walk down there, and then guess what? We don't hit our second shot till 8:05.
Yeah.
And that might be an iron we didn't even warm up with, if we warmed up at all. And then we go to the green. Maybe we chip. Maybe we hit a bunker shot, whatever. Then we go to the second hole, Fred, and maybe it's par 3. We don't even hit our driver. We pull out I got to hit this 5-iron thing. Okay. So golf is hard because the whole physical thing about the game is wrapped up in 1 minute, because a golf swing is 1 second.
Right.
If you're John Rahm, you're 0.9. If you're Rory-McIlroy, you're 1.02. If you're Tiger, you're 1.06. If you're super slow, you're 1.3. And how many full swings are you going to take in a round of golf? 40. That's it. So add them up. You're under a minute, man. And yet you got to surround this 1 minute athletic event in the 4 hours or 4.5 or 325 or whatever the golf course plays. And how do you do all that? How do you go all the excess time, man? Right? And then you got to chip and putt. I didn't add that time in, but the athletic event of golf is 1 minute. And now you've got to familiarize yourself with this different club, make a decision. Where's the wind? How do I feel? Blah, 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 right? That's why I love P and Lynn. They do it eloquently and scholastically, and they present it in a lovely way. And I just present it in my factual way of, man, you got to know some of these things, and you got to be able to make some, serious decisions and live with your decisions, because guess what you're going to have? You're going to have 1 of 3 outcomes: a good, bad, or indifferent shot. Nothing more, nobody dies. So, are you going to freak out after a bad one? Because I don't like it, but sometimes a bad one might leave the premises, which sucks, or a bad one might go into some bushes, and you might walk in and there's like the angel glow is there because your ball is in the middle of this oasis of opening, and you can fly a ball through like Rory did on Sunday a couple of times. Right. So, the whole game of golf is this fascinating thing. And then teaching it is hysterical, absolutely hysterical. It's the funniest thing ever, because students absolutely want to do what their natural comfort is, no matter what you tell them, no matter what. They say they're going to work on what you want them to do. They don't. And so guess what they need? Tenderizing and constant coaching. And so we love it, man. That's what me and my guys do. Routine, on course, and technique, and try to blend it all in there so your mixture and recipe comes out a good one.
I know this must be anecdotal, but I've always had this thought that students can't necessarily become good instructors because it comes naturally to them, and they don't understand why somebody is struggling, because it was always easy for them, right? So great players may not, or, great athletes in some ways may not be good coaches because it just comes naturally to them and they don't understand the struggle. Like, when Pete Rose became the manager of the team, it's like, does he really know how to manage people? No, he knows how to play hard the way he plays, right? Played. Yeah. And so what is it? How does a good golfer become like you? How do you become an excellent instructor when you're watching people struggle and you never really had those kind of struggles?
Oh, so I would take you back to 1984. I'd take you to Buttonville Driving Range in North Toronto, and we're looking at a guy named Roman. Okay, Roman was a member of George Knudsen's range, and it was just George broke away from the National because he wanted to do his own thing, and so we are in his what do you call it, like a modular golf shop, okay? And I'm watching Roman hit ball after ball. To quote David Faraday, his swing looked like an octopus falling out of a tree. And so I said to George, I go, George, why does Roman swing it like that? And George looked at me and he just said, he goes, Marty, watch Roman walk. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then I watched him walk. His gait was like a funny little waddle. And so George said to me, he goes, watch him. And there was a moment there and I'm watching him. And then I go, yeah. He goes, you grew up playing sports. You play hockey. You're a fit little dude. You know, at the time I was 16 years old working for George. That's my start to teaching, by the way, at his little range. So I'm watching this guy who loved to hit balls, who hit it on the button. Roman was a good ball striker whose swing was goofy as you can imagine. And yet he was there being coached by George and being assisted by me. So like, how much can you really teach Roman when he's getting the face on it the way you want him to get it on? But it didn't look like how George did it. And it didn't look like how I did it because his physicality, his back, his knees, his shoulders, his hips, etc. So when we are coaching our people, I can walk up to you right away, pal, for the most part, shake your hand and get a pretty good little scan of what I'm dealing with. And it's not much to watch somebody walk toward me, quickly evaluate their physique, shake their hand, feel, and you can shake somebody's hand and feel, okay, do they have little piano fingers? Have they swung a hammer their whole life? Where are they in that kind of strength profile? And then when you watch somebody walk, you can see how they carry themselves. What's their posture, how their abs hold them, how their lower back, is their lower back healthy or not? So you see these things super sudden. And then you ask them, hey, let me know. My clients, I always say, hey, tell me if you have any fake parts. That's what I say right away. And then the ladies have said some silly things to me. But most of the people will say, the shoulder or knees, the knees or whatever, right? So I'll get the answer, yeah, I've got a fake hip, a fake knee, whatever. But typically, if you've done this long enough, you can look at somebody quick. Now, the boys, the TPI boys, Dave and Greg Rose, have done an amazing job with their profiling of people, like their physical, because that's most people need to kind of go down a list. Here, do a bit of a squat. Here, do this little stretch, blah, blah, blah. But I tell you what, when you've stood in front of so many humans as I have swinging a golf club, you can see a lot of things right away just by how their posture is, how they hold their hips, how they shake your hand, how their shoulders are set, everything. It's unbelievable. And so that's what George's lesson to me was, like, respect their physicality.
Wow. So, but when you're on the driving range or you're teaching on a range like that, you're not doing a playing lesson.
Right.
People on the range, you don't really see a lot of people do their pre-shot routine every ball. Yeah. Right. It's a lot of scoop and hit. Right. Mm-hmm. So how do you tell, as you were just talking about the importance of a pre-shot routine, right? How can you tell what they're doing when they're playing golf with their pre-shot routine? Or do you just ask them, show me your pre-shot routine?
Pre-shot routine is a massive part of the golf school. I tell them it's the most important thing they'll do, period. Yeah. It's the most. So, do you know who Adam Oates is?
No.
You heard that name? So Adam Oates is a Hall of Fame NHL hockey player, played for St. Louis, the Rangers, Detroit. I'm trying to think who else. He's from Toronto. He's probably 10 years older than me. Anyway, calls my friend up and says, and this is Mike Wilson, by the way, an excellent coach who was I introduced to Mike Weir years ago, and they were a great coaching player union for a long time. Nice. Mike calls me up and says, you're going to love this. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, I know how much you love like the routine and finishing form. I go, well, what do you got? He goes, well, Adam Oates is, right? I go, of course I know Adam Oates. I
grew up in Toronto.
Player. I'm a hockey nerd. This guy played junior hockey at Wexford, blah, blah, blah. So I totally know who he is. Anyway, he goes, he called me and asked me to teach him how to twirl the club. And so my friend is like on the phone with him. He had never met him. He just knows, by the way, he's a friend of Weirsy, blah, blah, blah. This guy wants to take a lesson. So the guy goes, Adam Oates tells the coach that you haven't even met yet, I want to learn how to, when a pro hits a really good shot and they finish and they come out of their follow through and they spin the club and it's like, yeah, that was a good one. Well, Adam goes, I want to learn how to do that. And so Mike's like, you don't want to learn how to fix your hook, your slice, your chip shots? What? No. He goes, here's what I think. He goes, I think if I have the mindset that I'm going to hit a shot and come out of my follow through and spin the club, that's going to make me hit it better. How about that? So Mike Wilson calls me and goes,
about that?
I feel about that amazing, because it gave me goosebumps when Mike called me about it. Because he goes, how about this? Oh, yeah, because think about it. You've got an elite athlete, a Hall of Famer in his sport. Okay. Now, if you're not a hockey fan, you don't know who he is, but then there's tons of people who wouldn't know who a lot of soccer Hall of Famers are either. Right. So you got an exceptional player in their sport asking you about a mental nuance that is such a fantastic place to be in. So imagine every shot you're about to hit, you feel as though you're going to have this nice swoosh through the ball. The club is going to exhaust itself around you. It's going to come, it's going to rebound back in front of you. And then you're going to spin it like Tiger Woods and let it holster, meaning like let it slide down your hands while it's spinning. Now, how about that mental thought versus, oh, darn it, there's a lake over to the right. Oh, heavens, there's trees on the left. Oh, I better hit it over this creek. Okay, so you see where that mental space is. So when I heard that, I'm like, wow, that's why the guy was a Hall of Fame hockey player.
Wow.
Because, you blend technique and mental fortitude, and that's what happens.
That's a great story. That's a great story. Okay, I've got a little hockey story for you from just recently.
Awesome.
Since we're on
it. Is this
a
test? Okay.
No, when Ovi broke the record a couple weeks ago, right? The scoring record, the all-time scoring goal record. We had friends in from out of town, and the friend that was here has been a Caps season ticket holder for 50 plus years. He was one of the first 32 people, or is he only 32 left, that have been season ticket holders the entire time they've been in Washington. And so he was watching the game on, in my house, and I was busy doing things. I happened to just walk in the room, look up at the TV. He scored the goal. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, good. I got to celebrate with you, George. This is perfect.
So cool. That is so cool. Cause there's memories like Ovi took the puck, he's on the left side of the ice, takes this great pass, rips a wrist shot on the Islanders. The only problem it was in Long Island. It wasn't in Washington. It wasn't at the,
Well, then my friend wouldn't have been visiting. He timed his trip. So. He timed his trip, and he was texting with his daughter the whole time.
Oh, it's so cool. Yeah, I've got some crazy Caps fans, and I'm super happy they got to enjoy that.
I've always been a fan of the pre-shot routine. I've learned over the years with many conversations how important the pre-shot routine is. Yeah. And of course, I get accused of slow play sometimes because I'm so disciplined. I feel it's a discipline here, and about my pre-shot routine. But it's, stand behind the ball, do what you got to do, lock in, step up to the ball and hit it. So that's why I don't waggle. I just step up to the ball and do what I got to do. How do you feel about the post-shot routine? Because mental coaches will talk about the post-shot routine. But what about swing coaches?
I think that, I go back to George Knudson. Like his funny joke was, wait 3 seconds and then you can swear, right? By the time you wait 3 seconds, you don't care. So, you can imagine, like for the viewers that don't know who he is, imagine thinking about like Clint Eastwood, in a Dirty Harry movie, teaching 12-year-olds how to play golf, so that's kind of the persona and he was lovely. We all loved him. But he would, he just had mad respect for the guy because he was so good. He's spending that kind of time with the kids. And every shot, he was basically, hey, is it good or is it bad or is it indifferent? Okay, nobody's going to die. What'd you learn? All right, cool. But, that's it. Move along. No time to boo-hoo. Your next shot's the most important one. Let's go. So, I always get a kick out. I tell people all the time on my golf camp, I say, you know what? You're not good enough to get mad. You don't deserve to get mad. You have not put in any time to warrant the right to get mad. I have. I should, if I miss, I should get mad because I've spent all my life on this darn game. You haven't. But I don't get mad because why? It just distracts from the next, hey, what's my next strategy?
Yeah,
am I
a
a little
listener.
disappointed if I hit a bad shot? Sure I am. But I mean, it's like, move along. It's all good.
A listener once told me that when he was playing as a kid with his dad, he had a shot, got upset, threw his club, and his dad said, "You're not good enough to throw your clubs yet."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, it's good stuff.
So you've become a massive YouTube star. Not Paige Spinarak big, but I mean, like I met her on Wednesday at the Masters, but she was very sweet. You have really almost every video I watch, you come on beforehand, and I give it the skip. But I've seen so many of your videos, and I get sucked in because you're really good at it. You're really good television, man. Really good.
Thank you.
And it's led, I'm sure, to the success of your schools.
Yes.
And also your products, the Tour Striker products.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for you, and I hope you'll answer.
Yeah.
How do I find the bottom of my swing? I mean, I have been, I've been struggling, and when I'm playing with people and I can tell they're new golfers, I'll always ask them, I say, okay, here, my fist is the ball. Okay. And the back of my left fist, that's the direction we're going. You tell me, if your swing if you think of your swing as a circle, then there's a bottom of the circle. Where do you think the bottom of the circle is? Show me, like, is it 6 inches behind? Is it 1 inch behind? Is it 1 inch in front? Is it 6 inches in front? Where do you think that is? And 99% of the time, new golfers will tell you about, 6 inches behind the ball.
Sure.
And it's like, yeah, actually, that's wrong. The bottom of your swing should be in front of the ball. So I focus on that a lot. I've lost it. I cannot find it. Help me.
So I would say, when you think about golf, think about it a couple ways. I mean, there's the linear way to think about it, meaning if you're standing over a golf shot and say you had an aim stick that was between your toe line and the golf ball pointed at your desired target. Okay. So the left and right behavior of that would be linear. Then there's a rotational piece. Now, what happens with golfers that have swing bottom challenges typically is that during their backswing rotation to develop some power, they will also have too much linear motion away from the target. So they're compounding the challenge of getting back where they need to go. Now, remember early in the episode, we talked like a golf swing is 1.2 seconds long. So the more chaos you create developing a backswing, meaning if your rotational power development phase of developing a backswing also has lateral motion to the right, you've got to undo all that in order for the expansion of the developed power, meaning at address, the club's kind of hanging from your hands. During the backswing, your arms elevate while your body rotates. Now you add in complexity of lateral behavior to that. And by the way, that 1 second event, 0.75 of that is the backswing, 0.25 of that is the expansion into a golf ball. So if you create the chaos of having a poor developed backswing, meaning something too lateral off the ball, away from the target, your ability to have energy and get that club to touch the ball before the end of out. And my old coach, Mark Evershed, used to say the end of out. So the end of out would be as though you took a hula hoop and you had it in front of you, maybe it's waist high hula hoop or thigh high hula hoop. And you took the bottom of that hula hoop and you pushed it a little to the left of a golf ball that was centered in your stance, or maybe, a little forward of center for an iron shot. And then that hula hoop has a down and out portion. Well, the end of that down and out portion, Fred, should be a little bit forward of the golf ball. That's the end of out. And then there's an up and in. So to your point, you're right. All the beginning golfers have no idea where the end of out is, where the actual swing bottom is. And once you tell them, then a light switches on. Now, I know you kind of go, okay, makes sense to you. Then as a teacher, I might look at you as taking a lesson and say, well, during your backswing development, here's your little chaos, or what we call now the root flaw. Here's your root issue for expanding back to a ball. Is it a wristy situation? Is it a lateral thing? Are your arms pinned too low? I mean, where did the events start to unravel? Okay. And so we look at where the root issue is and where the events unravel. And as coaches, we say, hey, listen, we'll paint the picture of where a club has to swing. And we use a 3D analysis thing. It's called Gears Golf. It's unbelievable. And you can see as plain as day. I can put your swing up to a very functional pro. You can even pick the pro. It doesn't matter. Who do you like? Okay, I probably have them saved in my database. And I can put your golf ball right on top of their golf ball. So I can show you your swing shape and circle to their swing shape and circle. And I can show you where their swing bottom is and where your swing bottom is. And it's really not that hard to experiment with a couple of feels to have the successful swing bottom. It's not that hard. You seem like it may not feel what you want it to feel. You may fight me a bit and like, oh, but I feel like, I don't care, Fred. You got to get this club a little bit more this way. And then here's a mechanism that is absolutely objective. Not me telling you. It's a machine telling you. It's like, all these great launch monitors nowadays. There's objective data that you cannot argue with. That's why some of these young kids on tour are so good, so fast. They know through data how much better they are than tour players even. All they got to do is not throw up on themselves. And now through factual evidence, I can have you play around with a few feels and go, oh, okay, there's the swing bottom. That feels weird for me. That feels excessive this way or maybe more mild this way, but here's the bottom. And then if you want to dig it out of the sand like Hogan did, what we do? We put you in a fairway bunker, man. And we put a little aim stick down perpendicular to target line. And we put a little groove in the sand. Then we take the aim stick away. And then we see if you can touch in the right spot. And then we look back to say if the face was in a decent spot, because path and face have to have a relationship for a golf ball to go to a desirable position. So there's modern technology that can help, and there's old school dig it out of the dirt that can help. Both are great. And so that's why a coach, I call it bear wrestling. Like when you come see me, you better plan on, I'm putting my hands on you, moving you where I need you, bear wrestling you into a position you may like or dislike until you agree that it is a functional place for you to deliver the golf club from. Mm.
Were you familiar with Tony Manzoni?
I love Tony Manzoni. I got a great Tony Manzoni story. I'm laying it on you right now.
What's crazy is I've got it scheduled. We haven't recorded it yet, but Gene Parente, you probably know Gene.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not Gene. I mean, I know him, but I don't know him well.
Okay. Gene's dad and Tony Manzoni started Callaway.
Oh, that's right. Hickory Sticks.
The Hickory Stick.
Right.
And I have one at the club. So I heard a listener wrote to me and said, this guy mentioned Tony Manzoni in his podcast. You want to look into this? So I listened to the podcast and I wrote to him and he's like, oh, I have plenty of Tony Manzoni stories because I grew up with, he and my dad they grew up together and then they started this business. And so, I got plenty of Tony Manzoni stories. So please, because we're the only source of Tony Manzoni on the internet. I don't know if you're aware of that.
There's
13 times and every year. Yeah, every year since he passed, we play all of his episodes right in a row to kick off the season. And I get emails more than ever saying, this guy is awesome. I love his single pivot swing.
Yeah. So Tony was, I got that book kicking around somewhere, a signed copy. He was a member of mine in Palm Desert. So my first club pro job was at Indian Ridge Country Club. Oh, wow. I think he was married a couple times. I'm not sure. But anyway, he moved into this home there. He was an honorary member of the developer, a guy named Bill Bone. He gave Bill Bone a couple lessons and really helped Bill and play better. And Tony was obviously he was the coach of the College of the Desert that had a ton of good players come through. And they won, I don't know how many of those college championships in a row, like crazy.
Yeah, the regional championships. He won like 29 in a row. Yeah,
like something nuts. Like you can't even make that. Like can't make that number up. Like that's how good it was. And so Tony was a member, and he knew George Knudsen, so he had massive respect for my former boss. So this is my first club pro job. I'm 26. I just finished playing. I was a good player. He's got respect for that. He was a very good player. We played a little bit of golf together because he's a member there. And he was a PGA member. Obviously, I was a PGA member too, still am. And we played in the senior junior championship for Southern Cal. Okay, so that's a pretty cool event. So somebody's over 50, somebody's under 50. Well, I was the one under 50. And we played at, Desert something. And anyway, a course in Palm Desert. It was a hot summer day. And Tony and I, there's some really good teams, like, tour player, 50-year-old tour player guy playing with some hotshot assistant pro guy, whatever. Anyway, Tony and I won the event. Wow. And he played really nice. I played really nice. He made a double eagle that day. He hit a driver in some kind of, I don't know, hybrid or 3-wood or something up on a green. It went in for a 2. And he played so nice. And when you have like a little bit of trauma from golf, I mean, every golfer has it. He was playing so good. And I was just kind of playing like supportive because it was a better ball. So I was playing steady Eddie. I wasn't going off. I wasn't sinking 3-woods like Tony was, but I think he knew that I was pretty steady and he could kind of rely on that. And then like we knew like we're going to shoot 60 or something, like something low. We were 12 under or whatever. It's probably going to be close to winning. And I was the one calming him down. Like he was so excited, like a little kid, and he's 50 something and I'm 26 and we got maybe a hole or two to go. And I'm like, Tone, it's good. We're fine, man. Don't worry about it. Maybe we get one more birdie. Maybe we don't. Let's just hit solid shots here. See what happens. And we wind up winning that thing. And I'll tell you what, it was such a pleasurable thing because it like to see the joy in his face to have another quote win was awesome. Like winning's fun. Let's be honest. And like, I just met the guy, like, and maybe I knew him maybe a year because I just got the job and I was just hanging out there. I didn't realize he was like the legend of College of the Desert. And I didn't really realize like he was the originator of Callaway and all this stuff. And then I got to know him a little bit more after that. But it was, Tony Manzoni. That's my Tony story. Winning the senior junior in Southern Cal. Pretty fun.
That's amazing. I love that. So were you familiar with his single pivot swing? So he was talking about, staying on the left side and keeping your left arm attached to your pecs, right?
Yep, for sure.
On the pecs. So I'd love your thoughts, comments on.
So I think, it's here's when you talk about like single pivot or stack and tilt or just here's where these things work, because if you create chaos in a backswing. Okay. If you can't undo chaos, you can't play golf. So if you can simplify certain elements, then, impact could be more reliable. So when stack and tilt came around, like I got mad respect for Mike Bennett, Indy Plummer. They basically said, hey, listen, most people destroy their golf swing right off the get-go. Their weight pressure is way too far to the right, and they're right. Now, they're 100% right. Now, Tony probably had some inspiration from that. I'm not sure, but it sort of evolved around the same time. And I think you basically go to the campers we teach. If somebody's pelvis, okay, a pelvis is an oval. Well, at least you hope it should be an oval. And if this oval of a pelvis moves too much to the right while it's rotating, good luck to you getting back far enough to where you can have the end of out, the bottom of your swing being in the right place. So the simplification of saying, hey, listen, having a little weight pressure on your left side, which George Knudsen always professed, is a good place to start the pulse of a backswing. Meaning you got to put pressure into the ground to rotate. If you put pressure equally with both feet into the ground, you jump. Or you put pressure one way, you push into the ground with your right foot a little bit, it makes your right hip turn. So now, do you want that pelvis to glide too much to the right? No. So, in Tony's case, it was just a way for a golfer who struggles with a low point to have a bit more efficient development of a backswing. So I read his book. I loved it. I called him before he passed away about it. I thought it was great. And, I mean, that's a small legacy, a part of his legacy. Because, like, for example, like one of my assistant coaches, is Brian Geiberger. So he was on that team, and his brother Brent, as a tour winner, he was on that team. There's been so many guys that Tony Manzoni has been a influence in their lives, and a ton. And he was a caring coach and a passionate, absolute golf nerd. Absolute. Like he might even be nerdier than me. Like, he loved it that much. Hitting a solid shot was like a drug to him, it was. And if he could get more solid shots, and I think he enjoyed his life. He had some ups and downs with different things, but man, he was always smiling to people, and he cared about people, and I'm better for knowing him. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we all are. And I get emails on a regular basis going, I wish I had a chance to meet that guy, just from listening to the podcast.
Oh, he's a beauty.
So special. So special.
Yeah.
And did you know who the godfather of his daughter was?
Oh gosh, I'm gonna say like Frank Sinatra or somebody, but no,
bing,
who
bing,
was
bing,
it?
Bing, bing, bing. You
Come
got
on,
it.
Are you kidding?
It was Frank Sinatra.
I made that up because I knew he kind of ran with some of those guys. You got to be kidding me.
Yes, he did.
I didn't know that. I was gonna say Dean Martin or one of those guys or something like that, because crazy,
he was
right?
very good friends with Sinatra. And go back and listen to some of the
Can I tell you the story? I got a really good Manzoni story.
Oh, do it again. Go for it.
Sorry,
I love it. No,
so
you
he
win.
brings. Oh my God! So he brings Joe Pesci out to play golf. Okay,
he's told the story.
Has he told this story? Maybe this is my version. This is the best.
I love it.
So Tony Manzoni brings Joe Pesci. We got a lot of celebrities out in Palm Desert back in the day, and so in walks Joe Pesci, and I see him, and I'm excited to meet him and say hello. And Joe Pesci brings with him a absolute rocket of a female companion with him. Okay, that she is like some lovely supermodel fit Asian rocket, and she's wearing a like body stocking. Like before Lululemon was cool, like you couldn't wear that at the stuffy place I was at. Like my place was like on the verge of stuffy. It had the old school rules. You had to have your shirt tucked in. You couldn't wear short socks. I mean, silly stuff that since went away gratefully, and you'd be more comfortable playing golf. But this lady comes in, and she's probably 20 something. Okay. I'm 20 something. And then there's Tony Manzoni and Joe Pesci there. Right. So hysterical. And so I say to Mr. Pesci, I said, Mr. Pesci, I said, your friend is drop dead lovely. I said, but she has to wear golf attire per what the club says, and he's looking at me like, are you telling me? Are you telling me, like he's giving me the gears now, right? Like I'm this 26-year-old pro. Joe Pesci's giving me the business. He's like, you telling me that? And he goes, I'm just messing with you, kid. Then he goes, hey, I told you couldn't wear that damn outfit. That's what he says. Go get yourself some of that Tommy Bahama. That's what he says. And it's like, oh my God. Then she's like looking around, like kind of half embarrassed. And she goes by his like, pleated shorts and a big shirt, which was awful because she was like a very physically fit, lovely lady. But yeah, he gave me the business just long enough to know that I was like, oh my gosh, I got Joe Pesci mad at me. And then he hollered at his girl and made her go buy some like common golf clothes.
Well, I just couldn't let you go. I'm sorry. I have so many more questions. That's how long it's been since you've been on, and you tell such great stories. I can't stop.
It's all fun. It's good stuff.
But, I want to hear more about your golf schools. I think everybody right now wants to hear more about your golf schools and how we can get involved.
You know what? I wish I could. I'm blessed that camps have been sold out for many years now. I mean, it's been unbelievable. So, if people go to tourstriker.com, they can look at some of the products that I've invented and sell, and they go to tours. And then there's a little menu there. They can go to the Golf Academy and look at that. And, I'm available for lessons. And so are my amazing assistant coaches. I've got a fantastic group of coaches that have been with me for years. So typically I'm booked out quite a ways. but my guys are a little bit more available. And I would say that I would take a lesson from any one of my guys. So our home base is Phoenix, Arizona at the Raven. And then in the summertime, we get around, I travel about 10 days a month. I do camps all over the place. But yeah, everything that people would want to learn about what I'm up to, go to tourstriker.com, and then they can choose either, the products that I have invented and sell, or they can come to a golf camp or take a lesson.
Your inventions, you're prolific with your inventions, and they're so helpful. I've had this for 15 years. My 7-iron, my Tour Striker 7-iron, I brought it out the other day. I brought it out, was hitting balls into the net with that. It's like,
dang, and I wanted to get those to spoil somehow. Wanted to get those to like fade away, so you had to get a second one. I shouldn't have made them so resilient.
Yeah, well, you invented it before Apple came in and started planned obsolescence, right?
Right? No, I know.
No, totally. It's still working, and it works well. But the Tour Striker clubs on helping you keep your hands in front of the ball and hitting down on the ball. I hope I'm describing it properly.
Yeah. The idea is just to modify somebody's intent, right? Because when you look at that thing, you're like, how does this work? And then you pretty much figure out pretty quick, well, to present loft, the shaft has to lean a little bit. And so that changes how a lot of people look at, how do they get to the end of out? And shaft lean is one of those ways. So that was that's the first product I got to market. But I've been tinkering.
It was a huge success.
It was long time ago.
Yeah. And you've mentioned other products here with Rory and Rosie were using the ball. Tell us about that one. Smart ball.
So the smart ball was just, it's one of those things that's just a little bit better mousetrap. And oddly enough, my patent attorney got it patented, but it's probably the most knocked off product ever. And
congratulations.
I guess so. Yeah. I guess imitation is flattery somehow. But no, we have other aids for wrist conditions, clickers and guides. And years ago, I invented, co-invented a club called, training called the Plane Mate with a former assistant of mine. And now I'm relaunching it. It's called the Swing Trainer of all things. Imagine that. And it's it's something that is a little bit bizarre, but the beauty of it is most people are uncomfortable using training aids on a driving range. Not many people like using any kind of gizmo where people can see them. So this whole thing is based on, you can use it on the range if you're incapable of being embarrassed like me, or you can develop your game at home with all the digital content provided with all these training products. Because I want your viewers to realize they're not buying a training aid. They're buying a training method. And I say method, I say that loosely, but it's like, it addresses so many things that if you just kind of follow the content and my coaching style with the product, I dare you not to get better. I dare you. Okay. People will get better. So I've been doing this a long time, blessed in this silly game, whacking a white ball. Robin Williams said it best. They put a wee flag down there to give you hope. Well, I think I give some people some hope, and I have fun doing it. So,
yes, you do. Yes, you do. And, since we started talking years and years ago, that was way before the data explosion and all the digital all the digital aids that give you the spin rate and everything else, your distance. How has that impacted your inventions?
It's great because, it basically says, hey, this invention, you have objective data that proves my stuff works, which I love. I love when somebody wants to compare it to something. Hey, does group B get better when they use this, or group A, blah, blah, blah. And so I don't put products on my website that are going to hurt people. I put stuff out that is, hey, just, I hate to say it, a lot of dudes don't like to follow the directions. So I make the directions kind of fun videos. Just watch the video, follow along a little bit. If you want to hit wiffle balls at your house, do that. And you will have an elevated, heightened awareness of how to better rhythmically move the golf club and have more fun. That's all I'm trying to do. Help people have more fun.
Got any new inventions coming up?
I do that. Well, the Swing Trainer will be out in a couple months, and then a couple of other gizmos under wraps for now. So yeah, always tinkering. This is it, man. This is you're looking at me on this recording we're making, but this is my tinker space, and I've got a little workbench in another area that I do stuff. And I've had a great friend too, George Goebel is his name. He's kind of like my industrial designer, that he's helped me with a lot of stuff, and that was purely by accident because he was a maniacal inventor as well, and he's done a lot of work for me over the years. Just because I'm too busy coaching, I kind of throw it in his lap, and I enjoy seeing how he kind of takes my ideas and brings them to life, which is, everybody needs one of those.
Were you always a tinkerer like that with ideas and inventions and things, or did it just with Tour Striker came out, it's like, oh wait a minute, I can do this?
Tour Striker was probably the third thing that I wanted to invent, but it's the first one I actually got to market. Now, I owe the biggest debt of gratitude to Mama Striker, my wife, Stacy Chucka. She was the one, like, total belief, like, go, let's do it. Let's, max out the credit card, get this done. Where most people aren't getting that kind of support, where my wife was like, she believed in me 100%. Anytime I have something like wild hair like that, she's like, yep, let's go do it. And it's been great.
I have the same thing at home. And, when people reach out to me saying, I've got this invention, I always ask them, it's like, cause I'd love to leave my insurance selling job. And it's like, but I've got this great new tea. And I'm like, okay, so before you go any farther, how's your support at home? Because if you hear the foot tapping or the fingers, fingers going on the tabletop there, if you can hear that, don't even try it unless you got full support at home. It's not going to work. And I've had some pretty outrageous ideas myself over the years. And if it wasn't for my wife's support, they never would have flown.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's the best and most important decision you'll ever make is your mate, period.
Yeah, because of a lot of reasons. So when we're following you on YouTube, is that Tour Striker on YouTube, or is it Martin Chuck?
So,
and all your social media outlets, where do we find you?
Yeah, so Instagram's fun for me. I got a kick on Instagram. I feel like I'm a 56-year-old child. But Martin Chuck PGA is my Instagram. Tour Striker Golf is the business-facing side. And then, the Martin Chuck PGA is me being silly and stupid. It's got a lot of content. The Tour Striker Golf is more golf-specific videos and things. And then if you type in, Martin Chuck on YouTube, you'll see my, I think I've got, I don't know how many videos up there. And I tell you what, I think I got on YouTube in 2006. And I haven't been great at it, to be honest. I'm kind of getting more invested in it right now, but I'd be remiss if I didn't, shout out, I know we're going to close soon, but, two people that were massive for me in the golf business, besides my mentors, they're all passed. But I'd say Justin Tupper, Revolution Golf Days back in the day, he's the reason everybody knows me. And then the performance golf guys, Brixton Albert and Donnie French, those guys, they're the bull in the china shop of golf marketing. And then they believed in me, and, we've done a lot of video content together. That's why you skip all those ads of me, because they're constantly using me as a, they've done a great job in helping me stay relevant to golfers out there. And what a blessing, because I don't teach a primary tour player anymore. I teach dudes that look like you and me. And I get to stay in my bed at night, and I get to, spend time with my family. I don't have to chase. I'm not on a plane Sunday and home on Thursday, which would suck. I'm sorry. Yeah, Masters Week would suck, but some other many other tour events, I get to teach dudes. I get to go in and teach 15 new faces, some returning veterans, and have a blast. And it's 20 minutes from my house. So to that, I am massively grateful.
Well, I am massively grateful for your friendship and your insights, because, there was not many people that I reached out to bring in the last 5 episodes leading up to 1,000, but I've always wanted to get you back on. I've always enjoyed our conversations, and I really appreciate you coming on and spending time with us.
My pleasure, man. I'll do it again.
Phenomenal.
Let's do it. Let's do it sooner than 400 episodes.